Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Trucking from Scratch with David McGill. And in today's video, we're going to talk about booking loads, specifically 10 factors or 10 things you should consider before you book a load. Now, before I get into the content, I want to quickly apologize to the viewers and the subscribers who were enjoying the level of production of the last few videos. I recently celebrated 3 years of full-time self-employment. So one of the things that I did was I reinvested into the headquarters and leveled up the office and the studio. So as of right now, everything isn't set up yet. So it looks like I'm starting all over from scratch. But as soon as the studio is set up, which is actually on the other side of this wall, once I'm done with the setup, hopefully I'll return to the same level of quality videos, production value wise, that it seemed like y'all really enjoyed. Now, assuming that as a new trucking business owner, you're looking for loads on a load board, and let's say you found one, the first thing I want you to consider before you book that load is the broker's credibility or the broker's rating. The broker's rating is an indication of how likely they are to pay on time for the load that you delivered. The broker's rating is essentially their credit score, and it basically outlines how likely it is that the broker is going to pay like they're supposed to. That's obviously a very important factor, because it doesn't matter how good a load is that you find on the load board. If the broker is not going to pay, or if they have a bad reputation for paying, then it doesn't matter how good the load is if you don't actually get paid for it. Now, depending on the load board or your level of subscription that you have, you can usually see the broker's rating right there on the load board. Another tool that you can use to check a broker's credit rating is your factoring company. Most factoring companies out there is going to have some type of system where you can check your broker's credit ratings out. Now, another important factor to consider before you book a load is what type of equipment is needed. Some loads may specifically say no hot shots, or no box trucks, or no reefer trailers, dry vans only. Then when it comes to dry vans, you may see there may be some specifications that may say swing door trailers only. Let's say you have a trailer from like 1985. Let's say you have a trailer from like 1985 that's damn near 40 years old. Some shippers are gonna have requirements that your trailer can't be more than 10 years old in order to pull certain loads. So understanding what type of equipment is needed before you book is going to be very important. The third factor to consider before booking the load is the broker's authority age requirement. Now, some brokers aren't going to want to work with brand new authorities. Sometimes they're going to require you to have 30, 60, 90, or even 180 days worth of operating authority before they'll let you book a load with them. So that's going to be something that you're going to want to make sure you're taking into consideration before you book a load. The fourth thing on my list is probably the most obvious, but it's the rate. How much is the load paying? Another important factor to consider is the distance. And by distance, I mean the empty miles as well as the trip miles. First, you're going to need to know your deadhead miles or your empty miles to get from your current location to the pickup. And then also you're going to want to know what the total miles are for the trip, starting from the pickup to the delivery. Number 6 on my list is the weight of the load. The reason why the weight is important is because the heavier the weight, the more wear and tear it's going to cause on your truck. Now, speaking of wear and tear, I recommend you take care of your trucks using only high quality products like Shell Rotella's T6 synthetic engine oil. The T6 has the triple protection plus technology that helps protect against wear, deposits, and oil breakdown. Compared to conventional engine oil, the T6 is going to get you better fuel economy, and it's going to also provide protection against the extreme high and low temperatures, especially right now with the weather changing. Now, if you want to know where you can buy Shell Rotella's products, then check out the link in the description below this video. Now, the 7th thing you want to consider before you book a load is the number of stops on the load. Now, most loads are going to have one pick and one drop, but you're going to want to make sure before you book the load that there's not 3, 4, 5 stops on that particular load. Now, the 8th thing on my list is the flexibility of the pickup and delivery times. Is it a 24-hour shipper and or a 24-hour receiver? Is it first come, first serve on the shipper or the receiving end? Or does a load have a set pickup time and a set delivery time? These are all things you're gonna wanna know ahead of time before you book. And number 9 is location. How's the route to the delivery? Is it a flat terrain, or will you be going through mountains? Will you be going through high traffic areas, or will they be tolls? We see natural disasters affecting the trucking industry all the time. Are there any weather concerns in the drop-off city? So when it comes to location, these are just gonna be some things you're gonna wanna be aware of. And last but not least, I have on my list lumpers. Before you book a load, you're gonna wanna find out from the broker, will there be any lumpers and who's responsible for the lumpers. The last thing you want to happen is for you or your driver to be delivering at 3 a.m. and then you find out that there's an unexpected lumper that you're unprepared for. Now, as a recap, I went over 10 things to consider before you book a load. And quickly, those were broker's ratings, equipment needed, authority age requirements, the rates, the distance, the weight, the number of stops, flexibility in the pickup and delivery times, locations, and the lumpers. Now, if you think of any other things or factors to consider that I haven't already mentioned, then feel free to leave those in the comments section below. Now, if you found this video helpful, then give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments section as well. And if you know anybody else who could benefit from this information, make sure you share this video with them. And as always, thanks again for watching.